Welcome to Squatch-D where the truth is first before all else. Join your hosts, veteran investigator, TV personality, and author Steve Kulls, and from the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Project and the Kentucky Fried Fixes channel, Chris Bennett. Sit back and prepare to take yourself on a journey with the longest-running Bigfoot podcast, Squatch-D. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
And good evening, cyberspace. Welcome to Squatch-D for today's date, May 7th, 2025. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch Detective, Steve Kulls, along with my co-host, right down there, Mr. Chris Bennett. What's up, Chris?
Steve, man, good to see you, bud. Hope everything's going good for you.
Everything is going fine. Hang on one second.
We've been having some very nice weather here in Kentucky. Go ahead and get your coughing done or whatever. Yeah, we've been having some very nice weather. Been warm and, a little chilly at night, but that's okay. That's all right. We could stand it. That's better than 95 degrees, at night and laying in the bed sweating. But, wait a minute. You're still muted there, bud. There we go. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man, I hate equipment not working right.
You punched the button and the button don't work.
Yes. Or I thought I pushed a button and I pushed the wrong button.
Oh, yeah. And a while ago when I came downstairs, turned on the computer here, and I noticed Henry May over at HB May's Cryptid Corner. He's posted some new videos he has up from the Salt Fork Bigfoot conference up there. And I saw a lot of pictures. I see that he took a picture. Let's see, what was one of them? Oh, he met Cliff Barrettman up there. Remember Cliff? And Cliff is a heck of a nice guy. He's been on the show a couple times at least.
Yep, I see him. Usually I see him once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys were like right next to each other up there at Hocking Hills, I think it was.
Yep.
But he was there and a few others. But I hadn't got to check out everything on Henry's channel yet. I think he did get he might have recorded some of Seth Breedlove's presentation, so I'm going to listen to that later on tonight after the show, but I'll do that while laying on my backside listening to it on the TV.
Right. Shout out to Henry May. Good, Henry. Hello out there. So it's been quite the weather-wise here. It's been in the high 60s, sometimes dipping into the low 70s. Yeah. In the mid 50s at night. So it's still a little chilly, but not enough to turn the heat on because the house heats up during the day and it kind of holds that heat in. So,
well, I don't know what the temperature was the night before last, but inside it dropped down to 67 degrees, and which okay, that's fine. That's not cold or anything. But I went ahead and turned on the heater because a couple of our little Yorkies get cold. They get chilled, So try to keep it around 72 for my bros.
Yep. So I'm showing a little shades of Kenny Biddle tonight. I have a Darth Vader shirt on.
What is that? Oh yeah, good man. But Darth Vader was always my favorite character from the very beginning because I knew he was the good guy.
He was.
Even though he was bad, he was the good guy.
So, it's been really an interesting week the last few days. Now, I'm going to predicate tonight's show a little bit with, this is Wednesday night, so we're a little bit chill on Wednesday night. Usually we do evidence review on Friday, but this is so new, I wanted to get to this. Because it's already 5 days past since this has been out, so I figured we'd get to it. But there's a couple of little orders of business. First is the roll call for tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll get down to business. But,
wow. So Grant Rasha came in here early.
Grant Rasha in at 1 o'clock today. Followed by Mick at 1:15.
Mick.
Lance Windsor, hello if you're still out there. Relic Hominin, we'll be catching it on the flip side.
Karen play there, like Relic.
Yeah. Karen Fisher, hello. Sandra Piper, what's going on? The Beatron, what's happening? The Susie Monster, hello.
Susie Monster.
Outback Orchard, hello, sir. Jen, what's going on? She's driving home and she'll be listening, so hello and drive safely.
Be careful out there, Jen.
Smedley Do Right. Hello, Smedley.
Welcome.
What else we got here? And looks like that's it for tonight right now. So a little bit of everybody else is lurking.
Yeah, Smedley says Bigfoot family video. Yeah, but it's not a video that we're going to watch. And well, I guess we are going to watch it a little bit.
A little bit. We're going to watch some snippets.
Yeah, this is not the curse of Bigfoot.
Right? No.
It's supposed to be the real deal tonight.
But we will give you some insights to it, and we will send you off to where you. Hello, MJ Ashburn. Welcome.
Welcome to the show. Good.
Welcome. So, here we have it. First, I was asked to take a look at a video on Sunday.
Sorry.
And the link was sent to me, and I'm not even going to show that video. But I will show a screen cap. If anybody recalls, somebody was asking about, have you seen the video of the alleged Bigfoot, the fox, and the deer?
Yeah.
Well, here it is. Here's a screen cap of it. That should tell you enough.
Okay. Somebody's wearing khaki pants or corduroy pants.
Dark jacket.
Yeah. Is that the Bigfoot?
You can even see his hands, yeah.
That's the Bigfoot.
That's supposed to be the Bigfoot.
Okay.
And then he turns to the left. Well, he turns to stage right, and then off he goes.
Okay. So, well, I'm not really sold on this one, personally.
No. It's definitely a dude that somebody.
I do like the deer butts and the nice cross view of the fox there. That's pretty good.
And they're all saying, "What the hell?" They're all looking at him as if he's a Bigfoot, but he's not. He's just a Homo sapien. So,
was this a trail cam video or something?
No,
I don't see any timestamps or anything.
No, it was just somebody shooting a video.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, and Amanda's Crazy Life channel. Welcome.
Yeah, all our lurkers out there, we appreciate you guys hanging in there. You can say hello every now and then if you want to, but if you don't, that's okay. I understand. I do it too.
So I heard about this video.
Yep.
And I had seen a snippet of it, and then I sourced it, and this comes via Steve Isdall's channel, How to Hunt.
Oh, okay.
The next video. Now, you know, we're not the biggest fan because of some of his political views and some of the kind of clickbaity things he's done over on Facebook. But that's okay. We'll put that aside. I will say this. Probably the first episode I've watched in a while, and he does seem to be sincere. However, he cannot get off the fact of calling these things forest people, and that, he's one of the forest people believers, and, there's a big, great conspiracy, and, which I'm probably part of, because we all know we're getting paid by the entity, as he likes to call it. Yeah. And every time I've watched him, he has to go off and say something about that.
Well, I don't mind his videos if he has something to look at. But if it's this is an email that I received from so-and-so, and I'm not going to reveal their identity, and, he reads a 15-minute email. Well, hey. That's not interesting.
Yeah. Kaiju Ninja has a comment about the fox deer video.
Joan, get me a Snapple. Joan, get me a Snapple. Joan, get me a Snapple. Joan, get me a Snapple.
Scardy in the fox. Well, to be honest, I couldn't tell who it was.
But you know what? Who knows? It could be.
I can tell what it wasn't.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Who it was, but we can tell what it wasn't.
That's pretty funny. But no, we can't say that that's where that came from at all.
Yeah. No.
Hey, and there's Nikki. So anyway, getting back to the original narrative is that the only thing I don't. And I disagree vehemently with Isdall on this. I mean, he is not a hoaxer.
Yeah.
at least.
Well, there wasn't
Not
the photo in his book. He did
right. There's some very
that
interesting stuff. Right.
wasn't
That
too kosher.
it was very questionable. But when he reads his emails and he does his little podcast, he does seem sincere, but completely politically off base. He puts the tinfoil hat on when he talks about, oh, there's a great conspiracy to cover up what these things are. They're the forest people and these other people like Meldrum and Kulls probably and whoever else. They're keeping up this narrative. Because they have to, because they're in fear of the entity. Listen, I don't fear anybody. I'm sorry.
Well, was he say Isdal's not the one that said you were part of the Man in Black, is he? That was somebody else, I guess.
That was somebody else, but I wouldn't doubt he would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt he would say that too.
Steve is a government plant.
Oh, that was the
Sasquatch. Yeah. Right.
Or the reason why we keep saying this is because we're in fear of the government coming down on us.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's like really,
hey, if he's going to put out videos and photos, I like to look at that stuff. That's fine by me. But this dude that I got an email from so and so.
Well, Amanda, I appreciate that. He says that it's one of your favorite channels. He's 100% real. He's 100% real. But he's also very wrong when it comes to some of his assertions about what the creature may be, or what's the reasoning behind why people say what we say about it, which is the more scientific realm of that it's an undiscovered primate, and he wants to call it a people. They're not people. People are Homo sapiens by definition, and right, and they are not Homo sapiens because their foot structure is different. So ultimately, they would have different DNA than us. So that would not make them the same as us.
But that's not a new thing either. I think maybe he's taking the lead from Robert Morgan.
No. He's taking the lead from people like Melba Ketchum and David Paulides.
Because Robert Morgan did this whole, back in the day, he had cassette tapes, how to contact the forest people and, all this other.
Right. And that, he also believes that there's this big, great government conspiracy. There isn't. It's just, and he claims that people that believe in what we believe in are at the top of the Bigfoot chain. Are actually paid by the government. Yeah, I wish. If I'm paid by the government, they're about 25 years late with the check.
Yeah, my check is late. It's still in the mail, Steve. Oh yes,
no, Gary. No. Yeah. Hey, Gary. No. I'm the best out there. Period.
Hey, Everybody is welcome to their own opinion. That's what makes this world so great. If we all like the same thing, it'd be a boring world indeed.
Right.
But I like looking at photos and stuff. It doesn't matter who puts them up. But I don't really. It kind of turns me off to be somebody reads.
Let me ask you a question: has anybody ever seen a video of Isdal on a Bigfoot expedition? And the room goes silent.
No, I haven't seen that.
Right.
But it's not like,
that's my point. That's my point. The only time you see him out in the woods is when he's hunting.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree, MJ. That is perfect. And believe it or not, that is something chimpanzees would do and something gorillas have done. And well within primates. Primates are strategists. Remember that. So
let me read that off for the podcast. You guys can't see it. MJ Ashburn says, well, they may not be human, but they were smart enough to try to distract me while another tried to get away. Kind of crazy. That's too smart. And I agree. They are smart.
They're wicked smart.
There's no doubt about it. They are the hide and seek champions of the world.
That's right. Right. And they are definitely, as all primates, are strategists.
Yeah.
because there have been chimpanzee fights amongst groups where one group of chimps will actually, part of a troop, will actually faint while the other ones come in and attack or steal their, whatever they want to do. So, and if you've ever watched these baboons
Right.
in some of these countries, where they're stealing things, where they're stealing property off of people, how they distract. One will distract while the other one steals the stuff. So
smart little rascals.
Right, they're primates. They're smart. And believe it or not, gorillas, chimps, orangs, they all can be that smart too.
Oh, well, there's this series of videos on YouTube, and I don't know where there may be in Malaysia or somewhere, but it's someplace where they have a large population of these small monkeys.
Right.
And they leave a banana sticking out from under a handkerchief, and they've had a piece of string tied around the banana. On the other end, they have a rubber snake, and so the monkey comes up and pulls the banana out from under the handkerchief, and he's just fine until he sees the snake. Then he's out of there, and it's hilarious. But how smart these things are!
Well, there was another video too where this guy was doing a magic trick in front of an orangutan.
Oh,
and he makes the ball disappear, and when the orangutan realizes the ball is gone, it starts to laugh and falls over laughing so hard.
Yeah.
So their cognitive function is there.
Yes. They are sharp.
Or if and it's amazing how they can, when they were sitting there scrolling video with a phone in front of this gorilla,
right?
Or it may have been a chimp. But anyway, when they would stop, the chimp or the gorilla would go like this.
Right.
They would tell it I want to see more. Scroll to the next one. So primates are really smart. I mean, they're not your. Well, it's amazing how people will equate the great apes to being dumb animals. They're not.
Oh no, they're not. No. Yeah. No, there was this one chimpanzee in Alamogordo. He was very smart, and he had a very good recollection.
And thanks to Mr. Bennett, he had a bad smoking habit too.
He could recognize me, and when I would walk up near his cage, he would look at me and go like this. Put his fingers together and go like this.
He wanted to smoke.
He wanted one, yeah. He got it too. If nobody was looking.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Stop giving our subjects tobacco products.
Anyway. So what we're gonna be showing, apparently Steve had gotten this video from this woman who he's not even sure. He kind of chuckled about it. I kind of chuckled about with him. Because let's face it, you watch a Steve Isdall video, he seems to be very likable.
Sure.
Until he gets into that stuff that particularly offends me, and then it's like, no, he's and
he's welcome to an opinion.
He's welcome to opinion, but it's kind of an offensive opinion.
Well, yeah.
To calling your friends and yourself, people, government,
well,
basically calling us liars and stuff because we
a little bit of this here.
Yeah. Because we prescribe to one thing, he's calling us liars, and that's bullshit. Part of my French, and occasionally my French will come out, especially on Wednesdays. But I digress.
Let's see it.
All right, so he gets this video. The woman is from Alabama, so I'm not really quite sure where this video is taken from. Mind you, I had very limited time to do something, so I may do a little follow up on this on Sunday or Friday if I have time over the next couple of days. Of course, I'm in the middle of my work week, so. But I've taken some snippets of the video, and I've also slowed it down for a portion so people can see it in slow mo because I've only taken snippets of it. So here is what we have. Now, I will say that there is only 2 words spoken on the video. We won't hear them here because I have muted the sound because it was being voiced over.
Right.
But the guy is breathing heavy as after about 10 seconds of filming this, he's breathing. You can hear him breathing heavy. He's like, and then he's like, and the only word he says is "holy F."
Yeah.
And that's the only thing he says, holy F. And that's the only narration on this. So, as far as the original video. So, where this came from, I'm not sure. I like I said, the woman comes from Alabama, but Isabel mentions something about freezing cold water, or sub-freezing water or whatever. So, I don't know if it's from Alabama or not, but here it is. Now, it's very blob squatchish in nature. And whenever this is where I put it in slow-mo. Of course, these are just...
Well, that's some long arms there.
Right. Now, the video is much longer, mind you. But for those who want to watch it, go over to his channel. Check it out. It was released on May 2nd of this year. Chris, you have the title of that video.
Oh, man,
it was Bigfoot Family Enhanced version, I think. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'll find it. Enhanced video of 5 Sasquatch people and more.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
And I find it offensive he calls them Sasquatch people. That's what Ketchum calls them. That's.
But it's, oh God, it's so blurry. Oh my God.
So.
I see the young ones there, or smaller ones, and I see the evidently an adult. I do see long arms.
Yep.
That's interesting, but it's so freaking blurry.
Yeah, well, it's taken at quite a distance with a phone because the actual orientation of this video is vertical.
Is that another creature it's reaching out to? Oh my gosh, no. No.
Well, there's a total of 5 of them there, supposedly.
Okay.
There's another one off to the left, a larger one.
I see 1, 2, 3 on the right. Hang on.
Yeah, you have to watch the entire video.
Oh,
but
yeah.
There's another little one there.
Oh.
So.
Okay, maybe the large one is putting down a smaller one that he was carrying. Maybe.
Yes, yeah, I think
that might be the
thing
instead of the extended length arms there.
Maybe. That is correct. That is correct, Kaiju, because I had to zoom it to get it out of the to get it out of the vertical presentation, and then nobody would see anything. It would look tiny. So the best I could do was zoom it in on everybody. So, but
the original footage though is still blurry. You just see a blob show.
MJ asked a question about their experience.
Okay. MJ Ashburn, can someone explain what the shock I felt? Was it infrasound? It didn't hurt a bit, but my whole body vibrated. Weird sensation, hard to explain.
Well, the way I see it, it could be, but it also could be just your body's reaction to the extreme shock of seeing something.
I didn't get any vibration in my body or anything, but there was just a fluttering in my ear on the side that the creature was on. It was on my left side, and I got this fluttering like a hummingbird wing, in my ear. Right. And I didn't feel anything else, but as soon as that happened, of course, I turned my head and, there he is.
Right. Right.
And that's happened more than one time. That would happen usually immediately preceding a sighting. So they're doing something. I don't know what it is, but they're
like I said in MJ's case, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the entirety of the case. This is their first sighting, but a lot of people have some really strange reactions to either fear or the shock of things. For example, when I was hit a year ago, almost going on a year and a half ago by the tractor trailer, I remember getting out of the car and I felt my whole body just shaking. And that was because I had so much adrenaline built on me. And this is what happens sometimes, and this is from a paramedical standpoint, is that when something happens so extreme, you have all these endorphins and something in the body called epinephrine. It's a natural hormone in the body And when you go into this either fear or shock moment where your body needs to fight or flight, you get an epinephrine
Adrenaline,
dump.
yeah. Yeah, it starts pumping.
Well, that is another word for epinephrine.
Mm,
It's adrenaline.
Yep.
Right? So you get all this, the chemical name is epinephrine. So when you're a medic, you actually give that epinephrine to somebody that's in cardiac arrest or in a severe allergic reaction. But what ends up happening is once that adrenaline, it starts to dump. And when it starts to dump, your body goes into shakes. It may feel like vibrations. So it could be an epinephrine dump, what you're feeling. Not necessarily infrasound. So it's really really hard to tell off the cuff what it may be, if it's infrasound or my guess from the sounds of what you're saying, it sounds like you had an adrenaline dump. But and that's very common. I had and then afterward you feel very tired almost for a second, and you feel like you're gonna I feel lightheaded. I just feel like you feel really tired afterwards for a little bit, and then you start. Then the natural epinephrine starts to come back a bit, and you start to okay.
Oh, Kaiju Ninja says also before Steve H. How to Hunt put that footage on a channel. I remember seeing the footage before on another channel a few years ago. Might have been on NVTV or something like that.
All right, Kaiju Ninja, I'm going to ask you to do a homework assignment. Please find me. If somebody can find this footage.
That would be good, yeah.
Of course. Uh-oh. Spam, 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 spam.
Air Force One, welcome. Welcome back. Good to see you. Help y'all. Okay.
I don't know who's spamming me at 9:30 at night.
Somebody that knows you're in the middle of the show. I always just turn my phone on silent when.
Oh, I thought it was, but then the problem is I forget to turn it off silent. I wonder if they'll leave me a voicemail. So. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Chris, take the show for a minute.
Yeah. And Kaiju Ninja 1985 says, I'm pretty sure it was posted somewhere else before his channel because I recognized it. I get that feeling too a lot, too, sometimes. You see a video and you're like, wait a minute, that's not new. I've seen that before. So, yeah, if you can locate that, man, send Steve a link or something. And it's admin at squatchdetective.com. But Outback Orchard says they all appear to be different colors. Legs are different colors than their top. I don't know. The ones I've seen, while the whole creature has been different colors, there's been brown ones and black ones that I've seen. They were pretty uniform. Maybe different somewhere else. That's in Kentucky. Kaiju Ninja says, yeah. That original footage is further away. These are zoomed in. Yeah, Kaiju, it is. And it's just kind of blurry. And that's what gets me on this. Because of the blur, I can't get on board. It's interesting. I really do like it. It's interesting. But who's to say what that is? Could it be, a family of Sasquatch? Yeah. Could it be a family of humans out there walking around? Yeah. It's so blurry you can't tell, or I can't tell. I wish there was some way we could clear that up without using, AI. Of course, AI can make it into anything.
All right, let me give you a quick rundown on what just happened.
All right, what happened?
So the phone kept ringing and ringing, and it said it was Venmo security. Somebody's trying to create a Venmo account with my phone number.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So please press 1 to, it then asked us to enter the security code that was sent via text. Right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to access my Venmo account,
Yeah.
And it says Venmo here. Never share this code via call or text.
Right.
It's for the website only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So
once I read that, I hung up. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let them see that.
Now I blocked them. So.
Right. Oh man. Scammers. That's pretty bad to try to be scammed.
So what they expect is somebody to enter that code in, and now they can create a Venmo account or take over your Venmo account.
Yeah, if you're not trying to sign in, then you shouldn't be getting sign-in codes. But people gonna do what they're gonna do.
Yep.
Scammers gonna be scamming. That's why I do all mine. Mine is was it the second authorization thing? I got to jump through all kinds of hoops just to sign in to my stuff. So it's like once I'm signed in, it takes a good effort for me to get in there. I might be typing in codes and receiving phone calls and clicking links and emails and everything else before I can ever get signed in. But hey, man, that's just the world we live in these days.
Yes. So beware of that. Remember, if the text message they send you says do not share it via call, don't, because that's the way people take over your Venmo account or take over your accounts. Wow. Anyway, I'm sorry to get so distracted, but that was that was pretty friggin' rude.
They are people, thus different color clothes. I'm not sure, but I think that goes back to what was his name? Eric Beckchard. He believed that the Sasquatch wore clothes.
Right, but remember, people are Homo sapiens.
Yeah, that's right.
People are Homo sapiens. Look up the definition of people. They mean human beings. They are not human beings. They have different foot structure. Different foot structure means that they have different DNA to create that foot structure.
Right.
So that means they are not us. That is science 101. And I don't mean to sound condescending or anything like that, but they are not people. They're something else.
Right. And one of the thoughts I had was, back when I was early on in this mystery, trying to figure out what was going on here while we got hairy folks in the woods. Okay.
When we start calling them people, then we start to romanticize them.
Yeah.
But worse yet, then we start to anthropomorphize them.
Right. Yeah.
Right. They don't think like us.
No.
Stop that train wreck of thought. They are definitely on a different plane of how they think. If you think about it, if they are like us, why don't they use fire? Why don't they wear clothes? Why don't they use a wheel? But yet why don't they fashion tools? They don't. Right. Otherwise, we would be finding some of these relics. We know they don't use fire. We know they don't use complicated tools. We don't. We know they don't use wheels. So they can't be complete like this. I got you. I'm saying in the video that you showed, you appear to be people, not Sasquatch. Gotcha. Gotcha. Maybe. Very well could be, which in that case, it would be a hoax. So I'm really curious.
Could be a misidentification. Right. It's possible.
Like I said, we're just beginning this. We just began this morning. I've done literally maybe an hour of research on this, maybe an hour and a half, watching some video tonight about more of the where it may have came from and the actual source, which was Steve Isdall. So we're going to find this very quickly. Thanks to Kaiju Ninja. We will check and see if that is an NVTV video from a couple of years ago. And if it is, Lucy, you got some splaining to do.
I hope it is, because
I hope it is too, because that's going to expose even more. And then my point would be, did he really get an email?
Well, as I was saying a few minutes ago, during the first part of this mystery, and early on, I was trying to figure out if it was human or not human, because I thought there's this condition that humans can have. It's called hypertrichosis, and it's werewolf syndrome, where you get hair all over your face, And I thought, well, maybe it's a group of these people that had that condition that banded together and maybe decided to go live away from civilization. But then when we look at the footprint info and the design of the foot, we know that no, that's not possible, because we're talking about a completely different species other than human, not just a hairy human. It's a completely different species. Their foot is designed to hold up a very big creature, which would, when we had Dr. Meldrum on not long ago, our foot would not support that kind of weight without being all crunched up and broken. Their feet are designed to support their weight and their strength.
Yeah, see, that call would completely keep calling me back. Just so you, another quick note on this. That dialer kept calling me back until I made sure it sent me the text message with the code on it. So it kept calling and calling. Like I hung up 3 times and it automatically redialed me.
Oh yeah, they trying to get in your account, man.
Yeah, well that's the way they have the computer set up. So I hit the 1, and then I just hung up on the call. And
yeah,
oh, wait a minute. It says, wait, never give this number out on a phone or a call or a text.
Right.
Okay,
right.
End the call, and then it hasn't called me back since. So,
well, I hope the wife is not trying to use the Venmo account.
no.
If she is, she's going to be angry at you later on.
Well, that could be. They appear to have different colors on the legs. Let's take a look.
I don't know. Outback, it's so blurry, man. I can't tell anything.
Yeah, you really can't tell. And not to mention there's grass. There's tall grasses there, too.
Yeah.
Which could basically... And mind you, this is me talking honestly, that...
Midnight Madness said, is Bigfoot real? Yes, definitely. Absolutely. 100%.
Yep.
Is this Bigfoot on that video? We can't say that for sure. No, can't say. That could be Jimmy Hoffa and his family out there on that video for all we know. It's so blurry. Yeah, Brian said the arm looks stiff, so maybe it's extensions. I was thinking, Brian, that at first I thought it was the arm, but I'm thinking it might be the large individual was carrying a smaller one, and he was putting the smaller one to the ground. Maybe.
There is a small one on the ground, so it might have lifted it up, or it might have been reaching out. I don't know. The problem is that the resolution of this video is so bad.
Right. That freaking arm looks like it's 6 feet long, though.
Yeah, true. It looks abnormally long. I mean, not only does it look long, but it looks abnormally long.
Even for Bigfoot.
Right. Well, where did the video come from? That's a hard question to answer. According to Steve Isdall, it comes from this woman from Alabama, and the video was supplied by her brother or her cousin. She's not really entirely sure on the email. But then again, he doesn't show the email, so we really can't read for ourselves. So I don't know. To tell you the truth, there is no provenance to the video right at this moment. We do have one lead that says it may have come from NBTV several years ago, or a couple of years ago. We shall see. Like I said, this has only been the initial part of the investigation, but we're going to keep looking and digging.
That has happened before, though. I have looked at videos and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that's not new. I've seen
and that's really true, is they'll just not check sources, so it could be anything. It could be somebody ripping it off of NBTV, sending it to him saying, oh, look, this is a video of my cousin, blah, 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 blah.
That there could be somebody trying to dupe him,
Right. So, Midnight Madness, and this is fine. We'll take all kinds of questions, pop that question up. What do I think the best evidence? I think a couple of things. I like the Patterson Gimlin film, although Chris is kind of on the fence about it. I kind of like it, but, you're still always not with 100% certainty.
Yeah.
You always got to leave a little bit open.
There are things I like about it.
Right.
There are. Yeah.
But by far the best evidence I think ever has been done is the dermal ridge evidence by Jimmy Chilcutt back in the 90s when he compared these casts, and he from years apart from different coasts, showing that there was dermal ridge patterns in the casts that were similar, not identical, obviously, but similar, in a unique type of way. So, now just to go back, Jimmy Chilcutt was actually a Conroe police officer whose specialty was he was a fingerprint tech. And he would go to zoos and basically print all the primates there as well, so they could identify them in case they found one dead in a cage or something like that. They had the fingerprints; they could identify who they were. So he had a lot of experience fingerprinting other primates.
Cuts back on primate crime too.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Right. Damn chimps weren't ripping off
Got the bananas. We know. Got his fingerprints.
Yes, we got the print on the banana peel right here.
Right.
Who stole the bananas from the Food Lion? Let's take the prints off the banana peels. Yes, we found all the peels behind them in the back. Let's print them. That was good, Chris. That was good.
We got to keep our primates honest.
And they just said stuff like I said. Oh yeah, there's a big heist at the Food Lion. Somebody took six bundles of bananas. We found all the peels behind near the dumpster. Yeah. Well, all right, let's print them and get get Chilcutt here.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Jimmy Chilcutt also identify a mark on one of the casts two casts that were separated by about 90 miles, and he identified that as belonging to the same individual? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think you're thinking of something else.
Because there was it was two casts that were like 90 miles apart, and they had a specific mark on the heel, I believe it was, an injury.
No, that wasn't Chilcutt.
Okay. All right.
No.
Wow.
Jay, thank you, man.
Jay Fritz gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Jay.
Brian Barber has a question. Let's pop that with him. Thank you so much, Jay. You rock and roll, brother.
Thank you. Brian Barber says, how do you guys feel about the Freeman footage and the Dotson videos? Now, okay. I'm familiar with the Freeman footage, but what's Dotson?
Dodson passed away several years ago, and I know he had one screenshot, and I don't know if that was, there was one photo. I don't know if that's part of the Dodson video. But I do know that when we blow it up, the Bigfoot in the bushes is green like the leaves. So I think the Dodson video was just pareidolia. As far as the Freeman footage, it is very questionable. I've seen evidence lately that kind of makes me question it. I thought it was originally pretty good, but seeing there's actually another video of that Freeman had done several months prior to the Freeman footage, and it was off in a distance, and it seemed to have the same stride and gait as the one in the video, which kind of makes me, because I thought it took that odd bunch of steps because of the terrain, and it's in a different type of terrain in the first video, which isn't very public. I do have a copy of it, but
I've seen one Dotson video here from Boise Bigfoot Facebook, and all it's basically showing is just eye shine, then the eye shine ducking down. You can't really tell.
I don't know if that's you can't tell with eye shine, so that could be anything.
I wouldn't be a big fan of that one. But it's interesting if it was real, if you were standing there beside him when this happened, and it was a shared experience. Yeah, it could be really exciting. But if it's just like, hey, look at this. This is Bigfoot. Well, okay, you say so.
Anytime, Midnight Man. It's glad to have you on board, and I'm glad to see you're asking questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so There's so many questions. You know, when you have, so many questions, when you have a video that adds more questions than it has answers, then there's intrinsically more problems. Bigfoot is pissed.
That may have been it. I don't know. It was it showed the eye shine and then he went down. So that's all I saw. It's kind of blurry too. You know, what is it with the Bigfoot videos? They're always blurry. Why are they always blurry?
Truth or tinfoil? I love that name too. Truth or tinfoil?
Oh yeah, welcome in.
We've had a little bit of both tonight, actually. Truth or tinfoil. We've had some truth and we've had some tinfoil, I think.
Yeah,
but
just a little bit.
You know, I just took out of the studio the tinfoil there. Oh, it's a Bigfoot. No, it's a guy in khakis with a blue jacket. And he's an old guy too, because he doesn't ambulate very well too. If you actually watch the video, and the reason why I'm not posting some of these videos, especially like the Isdal one, the reason why I didn't post it its entirety, because you can catch the whole entirety on his channel, and that's what I want people to go to his channel, take a look at it. That way, he's got no gripe with us.
The Mapinguari have reportedly a different color patch of hair on their chest, and that makes people think that that's a mouth.
Yes,
that's weird.
That's a bit odd.
I've never seen them. It's multicolored. I mean, on the same creature. Is it possible? Sure. Yeah. I'm sure it is. Maybe there's a blonde one out there.
All right.
Oh, okay. No. I don't know if that's the one I watched or not.
Oh, that one.
This one, you throwing rocks, throwing anything. I don't know.
It's pretty brave standing there shooting a video of a Bigfoot.
There wasn't any audio on that video. So. If he throws a rock at me, I'm gone.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not.
I'm out of there. No,
I'm not. I laugh. Pat Collins always says, "Yeah, 1,000-pound ape throws a rock at Steve. He laughs."
Yeah.
I do.
Well,
thank you, Truth or tinfoil.
It's time to move on to greener pastures when they start throwing rocks at you, I think.
No, that means they're just having fun with you. Throw one back. See what happens.
No, dude. I've got one video of a rock being thrown in Kentucky, and it was probably, I don't know how many 100 yards away, but the way it hit the side of that tree and bounced down the hill, it was a pretty good sized rock. And when it hit the side of that tree, it sounded like a shotgun going off. So if that hit me, I'm sure I would have been dead. Oh, Midnight Madness. Do you think Bigfoot is a carnivore or a herbivore? I think both. We'll see what Steve says when he gets back. It's an omnivore. Anything that big is going to need a lot of calories. It's got to eat whatever it has available.
So I'll say this. I've had plenty of stones thrown at me. Not rocks, stones.
Mm-hmm.
But back in 2013, we had this fall into camp being thrown from afar.
Well, that's a head buster right there.
That's a rock.
Yeah, that's a rock. Yeah.
That's
Can you imagine if that hit you on the head? I mean,
no, it was,
your skull is not that thick, but
it was thrown just to the outside of the camp. Actually,
Yeah.
it was if you camp boop, and I saw it bob along.
Right.
That's why I was able to go out and grab it. And there was no other rocks like it near it.
Right.
This looks like it was grabbed off the bank, because it's very clearly, I don't know if you can see that, it's clearly sedimentary rock.
Mm-hmm.
So this is rock built up off of a stream. And the nearest stream is a quarter mile away.
Yeah.
So
it's like a nice piece of sandstone there. That's pretty dense.
Yep. It's pretty heavy. It probably weighs about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds.
Yeah.
But you know, to a Bigfoot. Think about the hand size.
Yeah, that wouldn't be nothing. Yeah.
Right.
Pebble.
So, yep.
So, Steve, Midnight Madness says, do you think Bigfoot is a carnivore or an herbivore? What do you think?
It's an omnivore.
Yeah.
It eats both. It's an opportunist.
Yeah.
It scavenges. It may hunt. It may, it'll eat what it needs to eat. Just like, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, and Homo sapiens are all omnivorous. They will eat whatever they can get. Meat, hunt.
Yep.
They hunt.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, Kaiju Ninja, omnivore. That means he'll eat whatever's you put on the table.
Right.
Meat or vegetables. It doesn't matter. Roots, berries, nuts, maybe deer, turkey, whatever.
Fish.
Can't say for sure. I know they'll eat pine bark.
Is Bigfoot a pescatarian? Up there's another question too by Midnight Madness. Keep which is fine. We love these.
Midnight Madness says, why do people believe that Bigfoot is not an animal and is interdimensional? Well, yeah, some people believe that. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't think that's possible. That's part of the woo side.
Well, and that's part of the anthropomorphic side.
Yeah.
No.
That's definitely woo. Yeah.
Right. But you see, people see something that resembles a human being, and there's only two things that make it resemble a human being, and that's it walks upright, and then it has forward-facing eyes, a nose, and a mouth. All forward-facing, similar, but not the same to ours. If you think about a Bigfoot, their head structure is different. Their jaw structure is different. Their noses are different. Their ears are different because there's always a lack of seeing them. They have a conical-shaped head, so their head is different. They have an absence of a neck a lot of times because they have those big trapezoids that come up high up on the skull.
Yeah.
Similar to a gorilla. Their foot structure, although it is similar to ours because it has inline toes, it has a mid-tarsal break, it doesn't have a ball in the foot, it doesn't have an arch, so that makes it different too. But what happens is when people start seeing things that are similar like that, they naturally go to a thing called anthropomorphism, where they say, well, if they look like us, they automatically assign, and we do that to all kinds of animals. We do that to dogs, we do that to cats, horses, whatever. But they assign human-like qualities to these beings, and you can't even do that with a chimpanzee. You can actually anthropomorphize a chimpanzee, and in my book, What Would Sasquatch 2, Volume 2, I talk about in cases where scientists accidentally anthropomorphized different actions by great apes, and they learned later on that they were completely wrong because of this anthropomorphization. So that's the reason why people think they can interdimensionally jump and stuff like that. And let's face it, it's very tinfoily. And part of that is anthropocentrism, which means which puts Homo sapiens at the center of the universe. And these people figure, well, if we can't solve this mystery, they must be something other than us, something greater than us, because we would have found them by now. So that's why they jump in portals and they can avoid cameras, and they make up all it is a bunch. The woo is nothing but a bunch of people who make excuses. The reason why we haven't brought this to a solution.
They tie one mystery to another
because it's easy.
That's
the lazy. That's the lazy way of doing things.
Right. Like when Eric Beckcher, talked about Bigfoot goes invisible. Nobody sees him in cities because he goes invisible. Okay.
Yeah, Mrs. Fletcher fell too. She fell down, and she had the little life thing on her. She pushed the little button, and the ambulance came down to Gary.
Grasshopper says people anthropomorphize me sometimes. I deny everything.
That's right. Deny everything.
Brian's got a question. Brian Barber says, what's your opinion on all the activity at Salt Fork Forest? Is it because Bigfoot are habituated to all the investigators now?
Well, I don't know any of the necessarily the particulars of it, but let me frame it two ways. Yes, Bigfoot could be habituated to all the investigators now, and they feel like they're not a threat, so they're coming in closer to them. Or two, there is a bunch of people with a bunch of confirmation bias that think that every sound, every bump, every shadow in the night is Bigfoot. Hence more reports. And then you have a bunch of people reading about these reports and going into the woods at Salt Fork as on a camping trip or whatever and see a shadow, see a bump in the night, see whatever, and think it's a Bigfoot. So it's a double-edged sword there. When you have such an overworked, famous area like Salt Fork, there's an issue.
They're probably not as well seen as they're reported to be.
Possibly. Not all, some.
Some, yeah. I'm sure you're gonna have people go out in the woods and they hear a stick break and they're gonna be like, it's Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot.
They see the X formation in trees.
Yeah, Brian's
Bigfoot.
got it.
It's a marker. Yeah.
Some of it is Bigfoot on the brain.
Some of it.
Absolutely there are, multiple sightings that have happened in the Salt our area. Yeah. Very popular.
Now, mind you, I am a BFR investigator, right? And truthfully, there are a lot of reports of people seeing these X structures and reporting noises. And I'm sorry, I can't, in good conscience, necessarily say, let me publish this sound report, because they could have heard anything. I only do the sightings. If somebody sees one and I interview them and I get with them and I take a walk on the property, then from there I will go forward and say, okay, well then we have a legit sighting. But if I hear a noise, a sound, anything like that, it's too convoluted to me.
Yeah, it's difficult to identify, what broke a stick.
Right.
Who knows? Unless you see it, that's different. But
that's right. And the funny thing is that I was in Salt Fork 13 years ago. 2012, I think 2011, 2012, we were at Salt Fork.
Grasshopper says it got researched out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a safe bet that they're probably not hanging around locally there.
Don't forget
pretty far back to have a sighting or an encounter. But I don't know. I've never I've been there, but I've never went out researching or anything at night.
And we'll take one more question from Midnight Madness, and then we got to get out of here, Chris.
Okay. Midnight Madness says, why is the most mainstream scientists skeptical of their existence?
Well, I think I discussed that in Sunday's episode, or was it the episode of the things that that every Bigfooter needs to hear?
Yeah, the one about the lady that wrote the story on the
right. If you think about it, there has always been a bit of scientific arrogance. If Bigfoot was proven to be real by their standards, they would have to go back and rewrite a lot of history and a lot of things they thought were true that are no longer true.
Yeah.
Some of it's bias, right?
Yep.
Think about it. They can find an ape track in Africa, and oh my God, there's an ape track that we've never seen before. It seems to walk upright more than it does quadrupedally.
Yeah.
And so let's put a bunch of trail cameras up. Let's cast these footprints too. And this is evidence. And lo and behold, they pump lots of money and lots of research into it and lots of equipment and gear into this specific area that they found the prints in. Right. And wouldn't you know, they discovered the billy apes. which turned out to be an offshoot of the chimpanzees, similarly to bonobos. Although the billy apes and the chimpanzees have the same DNA.
Yeah, just some of
Right.
are a little more promiscuous.
But you find a track in North America, and nobody wants to look at it.
No.
Nobody, they start giving you things like, well, there's no evidence that North America could support a large primate.
Yeah.
Well, what about the Homo sapiens, for crying out loud? We're large primates.
They jumped.
As a matter of fact, we're the second largest primates. We're the tallest primates, believe it or not.
If they find evidence of Bigfoot in the United States, they immediately jump to all the reasons why this can't be possible.
Ape tracker, 8-track. Your accent messed it up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My parents came from the Bronx. So anyway, there is a bunch of biases, and it's a learned biases. It's not something people are naturally born to. So anyway,
Brian says people do weird things here. One guy tied a raw chicken to a stranger's tent with a glow stick. When the owner found it, he was peeved, I guess. Yeah.
a raw chicken, a live
raw
chicken.
If they're going to tie a chicken to my tent, it better be, one of those little roasted chickens from Walmart or somewhere.
That way Chris can go out and go,
Yes, I'll pull a leg off every now and then.
So anyway, Chris, let's get out of here. Do your thing, baby.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We appreciate you hanging out with us. If it's your first time, and I did see some new names there. If it's your first time watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Smash the like button on the way out if you hadn't already. Thank you, guys. We know we would not have a show without you. And this is only possible because of our wonderful audience, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. You guys listening on the podcast, get over to the YouTube channel at on youtube.com/@SquatchDTV. And, check out the channel. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't, well, no hard feelings. Just try to help us out with our daily battle against the YouTube algorithm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you.
And, of course, we do have the greatest audience in the world. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jay, for donating
Thank you.
gift memberships tonight. Appreciate it so much, sir. Thank you. You rock. And everybody, I want to just shout it out there. Everybody, be good, be safe. Most of all, keep on squatching, and we'll see you all here Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern for our Friday night show. For our big show on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. where we do our 2-hour show. So everybody, be good, be safe. Love you guys. We'll see y'all.
We thank you for being here with us on Squatch-D TV. If you haven't taken the time yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And oh yes, hit that notification bell too. We don't want you to miss anything. If you really like our content, you should consider becoming a member, and it's really inexpensive and a great way to support not only the show, but honest Bigfoot research. Everyone have a great week. Be safe and God bless. We will see you all here next time on Squatch-D TV. Keep on squatching.